there. No, white is off. That's not a temperature. See, this is evidently a Defender driver. Hello guys, welcome back to TSBEC TV. As some of you may have already seen over on our social media channels, my Defender is getting a brand new Crossmember because, also as many of you have pointed out before, the old one was not in the best shape. So the long overdue Crossmember change is underway and is happening, but it is taking quite a while because it is one hell of a job. But we're not actually the ones doing the majority of the work. It's actually being done by our grandfather, and I say our because if you didn't know, we're cousins, Nissa and I. But our grandfather, he's doing the work because he's very experienced with metal work and welding and that sort of thing, and he's done actually a few Crossmembers before on series, and now he's doing the one on my Defender. So I'll go and show you that in just a second. But what I'm also going to be doing today, or at least starting today, is repainting my wheels because they also aren't in the best shape. And I looked into getting a new set of alloy wheels for my Defender, but they are really expensive, if you didn't know. So instead of that, what we're going to do is try and do a sort of proper DIY respray job of them, and I don't care if it, you know, isn't that professional because they're just old steel wheels, but I thought we'd make a fun video. So what we're going to do is take my my wheels up to the local kind of you know, tire shop and have them take the tires off, and then put the rims, once they're off the tires, into Nissa's new sandblasting machine, which you might have already seen in a previous video, and sandblast them and then respray them in a new color to give my Defender a bit of a makeover, along with the new Crossmember and some other stuff I have in the works as well. So let's go and have a look at the Crossmember. Now that we take a look close up, you can see it is not exactly in the best condition, and there was a couple of places, namely here and then also another place over there, where you could just, you know, poke straight through it with a hammer basically, and also some places on the top. And as you may have noticed, there is a whole corner missing, which I actually don't know where that's gone, but there's a whole corner missing off the Crossmember because that was cut off in order to see what condition the center piece was in, to see if some new bits could just be welded onto the ends and then the center bit kept, because that's much easier than fitting a whole new one. But I would actually rather fit a whole new one even if the middle bit is good, because if we cut off the ends then we lose all these mounting holes, which I'm going to need very soon for some new bits that are coming. More on that soon. So yeah, there's already one end cut off, but there's bits you can poke through up there on the top, in here, and in there, and it's just pretty awful all round, pretty rotten. And yeah, it's not great basically from the rear wheels and back, just in general. But we have the new Crossmember down there. It's brand new. It's not galvanized, it's just a standard one, because galvanized you can't really weld, so that's brand new. But the mounting rail, which is over here, that's the piece there. You see these tabs, that's those tabs you normally see on here, and these pieces. That piece is galvanized. I ordered a galvanized one of those and just painted it black. And then there's just, yeah, bits everywhere that have been removed. So at some point, hopefully this week, that will be refreshed, and this will be back on the road. But we've got some other bits we need to do to it as well, like the door hinges. We still haven't replaced those, because if you saw one of our previous videos, almost tripped over my own exhaust. If you saw one of our previous videos, I think it was the one where we changed the steering shaft possibly, the door hinges on the passenger side broke, which means these ones are probably going to go soon as well, because they look awful as well. So there's still plenty to do, and then we've still got this death wobble thing to sort out as well. But that's just an update basically on this yeah, Crossmember. So really looking forward to getting that one in, because the whole back just looks awful. And I'm also going to polish up this whole door. As you saw, we did these bits with this scratch remover, so I'm going to do the whole back, make it all look really nice, because the back is like the worst feature of my Defender at the moment. It just looks awful. So I don't know what the next clip is going to be. I'm waiting for Nissa to get back. He's gone off to do something else, fix another thing. So meanwhile, oh, that's something else I can show you. I've been sandblasting this. This is the like sort of tow bar assembly. So that normally goes on there, and then that's the tow bar assembly that goes on the back of your Defender. I've been sandblasting that. As you can see, that is completely stripped of any paint. It was black before, sort of faded, crumbly black. And this was sort of crumbly black, but is actually orange underneath. yes, I've been sandblasting that, and as you can see, I've still got some work to do on this and a few places on here as well. So I'm going to continue sandblasting that while I wait for Nissa, because I'm also going to be repainting that, repainting the wheels, putting new crossmember on, new door hinges, and a couple other bits as well to get this thing back to the condition it should be in, because this year has not been a good year for you. Right, seamless transition. I'm suddenly in Nissa's Discovery, and I've loaded up the 4 wheels for my Defender into the back, because I'm going to head up to this tyre place to have all the tyres removed off of these wheels. First I actually need to go home, because the spare is at home, and I may as well just do all 5 if I'm going to go through all this effort. So I'm going to go back to my place, pick up the 5th wheel, and then head up there, get the tyres removed from the rims, go back here, sandblast them, and hopefully respray them. This is also the first time I've ever driven a Discovery. And I'm just casually, I'm not actually going on like a video of test drive or something, I'm just casually taking these wheels out. And I need to work out how to put the air conditioning on, because it's boiling today. It's about 500 degrees in here, and I don't know how the air conditioning works. This, I guess, yes. Oh, okay, now we've got cold air. This is too much tech for me in a Land Rover. I need to concentrate on driving as well. Is white or blue colder? No, white is off. That's not off temperature. See, this is evidently a Defender driver. We want temperature down. 25 degrees, that's too much. 18. But is that aircon, or is that just like... I don't know how this works. Anyway, let's concentrate on driving. I'm really close to the steering wheel, probably. I feel like the pedals are really far away, but the steering wheel is really close to me. Like, it's out of proportion, if that makes sense. I'm not a tall person, by the way. If you haven't met me, I'm definitely not a tall person. Unlike Nissa, who is quite tall. So I had to adjust the seat, and now the steering wheel feels... maybe you can adjust the steering wheel? I don't know, but the steering wheel feels very close to me. But anyway, I should probably give some first impressions. First impressions, it's very smooth. It's very comfortable. If I drive up this same road, this is a dirt road now, and I'm sorry I don't have a forward-facing camera, this was all spontaneous, so I wasn't expecting this. But I'm driving up a dirt road now, and I have to go this way, or this is one of the ways I can get to my house. And it's normally a lot bumpier in the Defender, and it's very smooth in this. Very smooth. It's very, very strange having the Td5 sort of drivetrain, you know, the Td5 engine and the R380 gearbox, but having this comfort surrounding me. This is still not cold enough, I'm boiling. Just put it on low. Is that... That's not aircon though, is it? How do you... Is that aircon? Also, will that do it? Oh! No, that's hot. No, off. Just turn it off, okay. I'm not concentrating. No, that's the wrong window. That one. Let's just open the window. I know how to open a window, at least, even though I pressed the wrong button at first, but I know how to open a window. Yeah, this is very smooth. I think I might need a disco, folks. I'm not sure I like this steering wheel. It's a bit weird. I don't really know where to hold it. The top bit feels too high and the bottom bit feels too... What did I just press? And the bottom bit feels too low. And I apologise, I just realised that the air blowing out there might have been disrupting the audio. I hope not. But yes. Anyway, this is very nice. Also, while I'm driving, I can give you an update on the Crossmember. Because the new one is kind of going on now. Nissa and our grandfather, they're working together on it now. While I was sandblasting all these bits, like tow bar and all those towing eyes and things, I was sandblasting all of that. But yeah, they're kind of putting the new one on now. The old one is off. So either that footage would have been played before this clip, or there'll be some B-roll over what I'm saying now, or you'll just see it in another video. I don't know how it's going to work. This is very spontaneous, this video. I didn't expect to be recording today, but I was down at the workshop and I thought there's a lot going on, so I should make the most of it and do this video. Because I wanted to do something like talking about repainting these wheels, because it could be quite interesting if it actually goes well. If not, I'm just going to have some kind of semi-sandblasted wheels. It's going to look a bit weird, but if not, I'll just buy some new ones. But basically the whole point of this is seeing if I can find a cheap solution to repainting my wheels and give it a bit of a makeover along with the Crossmember. Right, so I've picked up the 5th wheel and I'm now out on the proper open road, so I can open her up a little bit more. I'm really impressed with how refined this is, and it feels very torquey even though it hasn't got a remap yet. A remap is coming, but it hasn't got it yet. It has got a straight through pipe. Jesus, this guy is coming a bit fast. It's got a straight through pipe, EGR blank, and some high flow air filter, I think. And it feels quite nice. And of course the sort of uprated gearbox and clutch as well. It feels very nice, I must say. I still haven't worked out the air conditioning, but it's very smooth to drive. Very smooth. I mean, imagine this with a remap. I think it'd be great. And it's very comfortable. It's a lot more ergonomic than the Defender, but that shouldn't come as a surprise, because I got, like, especially like the position of my right arm, because I can put my elbow on the cubby box here, and then the gear lever is like at the perfect height with my arm resting on the cubby box, so you know I can just leave it there, which is really nice. It's got the slick shift, which gives me a really short throw on the gear lever, and now I'm just cruising. I still feel like I'm in the wrong seating position. I probably need to adjust it a bit more because I just jumped in off the Nissa, but it's nice. It's very nice. And here we are then. Let's see if we can get these tyres removed. Right, this is a little bit awkward because the same wheels and tyres are in the back, or at least in the same form, because they didn't have time and they told me to come back tomorrow afternoon, which is a bit annoying because I wanted to get on with this now so the paint could dry, because I'm going to have to give it more than one layer as well, of course. So I wanted to have it all done, you know, at the same time as the Crossmember, so I can put the wheels back on and carry on driving. So I'm going to have to just wait now or figure out another solution. Yes, I'll see you back at the workshop, I suppose. So there isn't much more that can be done for today, so I'm going to head home and meet up with you guys again tomorrow. And we are back. I've just returned with the rims separated from the tyres. I'm standing next to the sandblaster, so what I'm going to do, of course, now is start to sandblast them. I've already put one wheel into the machine, but I'll just show you the other ones to give you an example of why I want to do this. So we got 4 of the rims here. There's a 5th one in the machine already, but this one is from the spare wheel, which you can see is more or less immaculate because it's basically never been used. But then these 3 are from the ones that were actually on the vehicle. And you can see there's a little bit of surface rust and some scratches and a bit of peeling going on them, which is why I thought painting them or doing this now would be a good idea. It's something I've been thinking of for quite a while, and I thought about just buying some brand new rims, but they are pretty expensive, and I thought, why not just try and do it a DIY way, see if I can just paint them, because if it turns out crap, I don't really care. I will just invest in some new ones at some point. But yeah, I thought it'd be a fun little project to do, and while it's up on the lift, which it has been for about a week now, I may as well just do this because it's not going to take that long and should be done before the Defender is ready to go back on the road. And with this glorious weather we've been having, not that you can really see it, they should dry very, very quickly out in the sun once they're painted. So I'm going to hopefully sandblast them now. I hope that it's strong enough to actually remove this material, because it doesn't work on everything. So hopefully this is kind of weak enough now that I can just strip it quite quickly, because this could take like 5 minutes per rim, or it could take like an hour per rim. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. So I'll let you do the maths. Anyway, I'm going to get on with the sandblasting. And another so-called seamless transition for you right there. But I am now back home from the workshop after having spent some time sandblasting these rims. I got one down behind me, which I brought with me so that I could kind of do a test run with that. And I'll show you that in just a second, because I sandblasted that and applied some primer to it. But I'm going to stop for the day now because it is getting rather late and I'm in desperate need of a shower at this point. But but I'll continue tomorrow sandblasting the wheels, but I'm going to end the video here because I suspect it's getting rather long already, and I'll leave the kind of wheel reveal thing as a bit of a teaser, and you can see what it looks like when they're actually on the Defender. But the Crossmember is almost done. It's kind of half on at the moment. Well, it's sort of on, but needs to be attached, if that makes sense. It's just sort of being held on by other things. So it's almost done, and there will be another video after this one, I think, going through a bit more of the process of how it was done when the Defender is ready. But basically, we haven't been the ones doing most of the work. Again, I'll get into all of this in the next video where I go into more detail about how this was all done. But we weren't the ones doing most of the work, and I had other places to be while it was being done, like work, for example. So I couldn't always be there to film and sort of document it entirely. So I've got what I have, and then I'll put it into the next video, or some of it might be in this video as well. And you'll see how the whole thing has gone down. But let's go and have a look at this wheel. So we've got one of the rims down here with some primer on it, and then I'm going to paint it in just a moment once I've finished filming, because I think that is just about dry. But if you want to know more about the process of how this was actually done, you've seen most of it in the video, but I took them up to the local tire swap shop, or whatever you call it, had them remove the tires from all of my 5 wheels, including the spare, and then used our sandblaster to try and get a smooth, even finish on all of them and get rid of surface rust and stuff like that. And then use sandpaper to kind of even out any bits that were still needed to be done. And then I've just put some primer on them, washed them as well, obviously, put some primer on them, and then after that is going to have several layers of paint. So that is all that's been done. It's very, very simple, and the whole idea, I mean, I don't really care if they look a bit crap. It's meant to be a DIY job, and it's a bit of an experiment, to be honest, because I looked into getting new wheels and I saw how expensive they were, and thought, well, why not try and do this at home and see how kind of cheaply it can be done. So it's a bit of fun, it's a bit of an experiment. If it turns out really, really crap, then maybe I'll just buy some new rims at some point, but this will do for now. So that is that. And then over here, we got various bits I've also sandblasted and then subsequently painted. These are bits for the towing assembly on the back of the Defender, as you can see. But all that has just been, like I say, sandblasted and then painted with some lovely hammerite paint, which we have over here. So if you're wondering what I've used, we've got some primer on the left, which is what I've just used for the rim. It's just some bog standard primer I got in a car part store, and then this one is just hammerite metal paint, which is really, really good stuff, which is what I have used for these over here. But other than that, it is time to end the video, because as I said, I suspect this is getting rather long, and I'm also in desperate need of a shower and some food. So I'm going to end this video here, and you'll see the rest of this in the next video, I believe, where I'll talk a bit more about it once basically the Defender is all ready to go again, because there's still quite a few bits that need to be done. It's rather exhausting, financially speaking, anyway. So yeah, I'll end the video here. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.